This is the story of the golden apple of discord. The story begins in Troy, long ago in ancient times. Queen Hecuba of Troy had a dream. The queen was pregnant at the time, eagerly awaiting the birth of her first child. But one night she dreamed she gave birth to a flaming torch. When she told her husband, King Priam, he became worried and called upon his eldest son, Aeschylus the seer, to tell him the meaning.
Your newborn son will be the downfall of Troy,
Aeschylus said.
He must be killed to save our people.
And so when the baby boy named Paris was born, Hecuba and Priam looked into his eyes and fought against their fears. They knew they must destroy him, but they could not bear to do it. King Priam called upon his chief herdsman, Aiello, to do the deed. Aiello carried the baby to desolate Mount Ida. Once there, he shrank from the task. He could not kill this baby, and so he left tiny Paris there alone in the wilderness, certain to perish. But that night, a bear came upon the baby and took pity on him. She kept him safe through the night. In the morning, when Aiello returned for the body, he found the boy alive and safe. He took this as a sign the boy was meant to live. And so in secret, Aiello took Paris to his home to rear the boy as his own. Paris grew to be a regal young man, beautiful, intelligent, and wise, beloved by men and women alike. He often pitted his prize bull against the bulls of other men, and one day he offered a challenge. His bull would fight anyone's bull to a battle. The winner would receive a golden crown. When Ares, the Greek god of war, heard this, he transformed himself into a bull and accepted the challenge. Naturally, Ares easily won, and Paris proved how fair he was when he readily awarded Ares the crown. And it was in this way that the Greek gods came to understand that Paris was a man who kept his word. And this is how he came to be the judge for one of the most extraordinary contests ever waged. It happened this way. On Olympus, home of the ancient Greek gods, Zeus planned a wedding feast for the sea nymph Thetis and her beloved, the mortal Peleus. Zeus invited all the gods and goddesses but one, Eris. This is because wherever Eris, the goddess of discord, went, she brought only chaos and misery. But Eris learned of the feast, and she was furious. In the midst of the wedding merriment, she stormed into the great hall and flung a golden apple into the crowd. The apple was inscribed with the word Callisti, meaning for the fairest. Naturally, every goddess thought that she was the fairest of them all, and rushed forward to claim the fruit. Soon, a fight began between them as they argued over the apple. However, by the end of this chaotic conflict, only 3 goddesses remained. Aphrodite, the goddess of beauty, Athena, the goddess of wisdom and war, and Hera, Zeus's wife and the goddess of women and marriage. The 3 goddesses turned to Zeus and said, "You must choose who gets the golden apple. Which of us is the fairest of all?" Zeus understood that no matter which woman he selected, the other two would create terrible grief. And so he decreed that the matter would be decided by the fairest judge in the land.
The shepherd Paris of Troy will select the fairest goddess,
Zeus proclaimed. Zeus then instructed his son Hermes the messenger to lead the goddesses to Mount Ida. When Hermes explained the task, Paris could not refuse. No one refused a command from Zeus. And so he stood before the goddesses, carefully inspecting each one and wondering how he could possibly decide. The goddesses began to offer bribes. "I can make you king of Europe and Asia," Hera said. "Select me and you will be among the most powerful men on earth." Athena strode forward next. "I will give you wisdom, and I shall make you the finest warrior who ever lived." Last to step forward was Aphrodite. She had enhanced her charms with flowers strewn through her hair, and she gazed at the handsome young man.
"Paris,"
she said,
"I offer you the most enticing gift of all. I offer you love. Helen of Sparta, the most beautiful mortal woman in the world, will fall in love with you. I will make certain she cannot resist your charms."
Helen was famous for her great beauty, and for many years she had suitors of extraordinary ability, men of strength, men of wisdom and power, and it was her father Tyndareus who at last chose her husband, King Menelaus of Sparta. When Helen and Menelaus married, Tyndareus extracted a promise from all those former suitors, demanding that they protect and defend his daughter's marriage to King Menelaus forever. Each of the suitors vowed they would always defend this marriage. But there, on Mount Ida, Paris could not resist Aphrodite's offer. He handed Eris's golden apple to her. And when he later raided the house of King Menelaus and stole Helen away to Troy, he received Aphrodite's gift of Helen's love. The moment King Menelaus discovered his queen was gone, he called upon all her former suitors. Everyone stepped forward and vowed to return Helen to Sparta, no matter what that took. And the land of Troy would be destroyed. And so it was all because of Eris and that golden apple that the long and terrible Trojan War began. The end.